Okay, so as a sort of alternate thing to do, if you're finding annotating your sketchbook or annotating all of your blog posts a bit difficult, and you think that maybe you'd be better off just talking about your work verbally, what we'd like you to do is start doing video recordings. There's a few different ways to do them. So one of them is just like this, so actually recording yourself with your sketchbook or any sort of printouts, and then what you can do is just almost present your book and talk through it. So you'd maybe open up to a different page in your sketchbook and then just talk about and explain like you would in your annotation, but just discussing it verbally. So making links back to the artists that you've been looking at, discussing your use of the formal elements, just talking us through that particular piece of work. And you can do that for all of your different development pieces. So if you've got like prototype packaging pieces, you could be picking those up and discussing them and kind of opening them out and talking about them and just kind of giving us a visual explanation. So that's one way that you could do like a sort of different approach to annotating. And there's a few others that I'll talk about later in, so screen toasting. Also, if you wanted to do a video recording, you don't necessarily have to have yourself in there. So it could be that you actually just present the work. You might need to kind of pick a different, if you don't want to be have your face in there, a different sort of format, but just videoing your work. If you've got an actual handheld camera, you could actually just be pointing that down and recording the work and talking about it that way. So there are two kind of different ways of doing that. So I'll talk you through screen. So for a screen recording, it's just going to record what's up on screen. So you might want to open up your blog, then you could have different pieces digitally kind of up here. What would also be good when you're doing that is you can put hyperlinks into different posts, so you can click through and just show, actually, you know, this is the website where I got the idea from, or whatever it is you need to be doing. You could also set up a slideshow or something of just different visual things and talk us through it on screen. Another really handy thing that you could do for development, so a little bit like what we do for the tutorials, is say you were working on something in Photoshop. So obviously this is what we do when we're making a video tutorial for you. We're just screen toasting us doing it as you're going along. So in terms of documenting your development, you could record every single stage of your process just by opening up Photoshop and then creating a screen recording and then leaving it recording for the entire time that you're working. And that would be a really good way of capturing every single kind of stage of your process. And then you can just upload that video to your blog. So then say you've got, I'll just work with whatever's there. So it would just be recording absolutely everything. So say we're just going to quickly colour our background. And then you're going to, I don't know, use a brush tool. So all of these different things so that we're kind of seeing your process as you're kind of going along. And it just means that anything, so whenever you're working and you're doing different things, you'll be able to then kind of go, oh, I got to this point, but then we can see when you step back maybe and undo something and how you kind of alter it and change it. So then when you're going, actually, instead of that, I decided that actually this colour would work better, so I did another colour on top. And you can kind of record the whole process, and then that's a really good way to kind of document the development so we can see from how you got from A to B. You know, and you can talk over the top of it as well if needed, or just kind of keep it as a visual way of documenting what you're doing, and it will help you when you're coming back to kind of refer to it. So that's screen toasting, and how to do screen toasting is just in the tutorial video below, so you can watch that one as well.